Have you ever met someone who felt like your twin flame, but there was always something a little bit off about the situation? Maybe you had so many synchronicities, seeing 11:11 on the clock, feeling swept up into your own little world together when you were in conversation with this person, having a really intense and powerful eye connection and seemingly irresistible chemistry, physically, emotionally, mentally. But you just had this lingering gut feeling that perhaps this wasn't your twin flame. Now, we have to be really careful when talking about this subject because I talk a lot about intuition, but sometimes intuition isn't so easy to hear. Sometimes our fear can look like intuition. So, while all twin flames experience fears, doubts, uncertainties from time to time along this path, at times in our life and in certain situations, we can be sent a person, a connection that we refer to as a false twin flame. Now, by false twin flame, I am referring to someone who comes into your life and by all appearances or by many appearances seems to check the boxes of a twin flame relationship. However, there is one key difference, one key test that I found really useful along my journey in determining whether someone is a true twin flame or a false twin flame. And I'll share that with you in just a few minutes. But first, I do want to say, whatever I speak on here in this podcast or in any of my podcasts, I always want to remind you that your intuition, your own soul is always guiding you. You have an internal guidance system, a compass, metaphorically speaking. And really my only goal through these podcasts is to reconnect you with the truth of who you are, number one, and number two, in connection with knowing the truth of who you are, being able to listen to that truth. Listen to that inner voice, hear your own intuition. So I do want you to know that oftentimes these situations, when it comes to determining whether or not someone is a twin flame, especially if you've been wondering whether this person is a false twin flame, there's really no black and white answer to this. In this podcast, I'm just going to be sharing my thoughts and experiences, both in my own life and speaking with others. But at the end of the day, only you know the truth in your own heart and soul for yourself. And another thing is, if you are experiencing these doubts and feelings of uncertainty, that alone does not mean that someone is a false twin flame. I speak on twin flame doubt in other videos, and maybe I'll create more content on that in the future. But it's almost a trademark for twin flames to experience doubts and fears about this connection from time to time. I've hardly known personally a twin flame who has never had a single doubt, usually coming from a space of ego or confusion. And that's simply because this connection is so powerful and to others so seemingly strange in many ways, almost magical, and at times it can be downright confusing. So I'm just saying all of that to reassure you. If you've been feeling doubtful, if you've been feeling confused, you are not alone. And I hope that something in this podcast helps you along your journey. I do want to introduce myself to anyone here who is new, because I know that we attract many new members, beautiful souls to this community every day. I am so grateful to all 40,000 now of you out there listening for sharing your energy with me here on this platform. I always say this, but by listening to these podcasts, by subscribing to this channel, you aren't just a passive listener. You are actually co-creating all of this knowledge, all of this information. So thank you for being a co-creator here with me. If I do resonate with you, subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you get updated whenever I post new content. So, what is the number one way to determine whether or not someone is a true twin flame or a false twin flame? Well, let's dial it back for just a moment, and I want to clarify that false twin flames aren't evil. They aren't bad people. Of course, depending on your situation, that person in their human state, that soul in their human state, could be exhibiting wounded behavior, negative patterns. Whatever the case may be, they may have what we would label negative traits in their interactions with you. But everything about that person is here to teach you something. If you are connecting with someone who happens to end up to be a so-called false twin flame, this doesn't mean anything is going wrong. It doesn't mean you aren't beautiful, capable, worthy of twin flame love. It doesn't mean that you did something wrong or took a wrong turn along this journey. It simply means that something needed to be prepared. The path needed to be paved in some way, by your connection with this false twin flame. And I use that term false twin flame very lightly to begin with, because really, these people that we sometimes mistake as twin flames could be very beautiful connections. They could be even romantic soulmate connections. Oftentimes, however, these connections can also be the representation of some kind of negative cycle or pattern, there to heal some kind of very specific wound. And we might call these karmic connections or karmic partners. Regardless, the reason that we usually mistake these for twin flame connections is because they are a different form of soul connection, and all soul connections have certain similar traits. One trait that all of our soul connections, karmic, soulmates, and twin flames all have in common is that they are all magnetic, meaning we are drawn to these people. We are pulled together with them. Now, of course, twin flame connections are the most highly magnetic of all, but karmic connections and soulmate connections are also magnetic in their own way. They pull us in to these connections. Now, if your false twin flame is a karmic connection or a karmic partner, this means that the reason for this very strong, sometimes even irresistible magnetism you feel with this karmic partner is because you have some unfinished business with this person. Now, this unfinished business could be past life karmas, or it could simply be patterns you've had for your whole life, or even for many lifetimes. Negative patterns that this person is helping you to identify and to break out of. In the case of our soulmate connections, these are magnetic because these people, our soulmates, are inherently part of our soul family. We have essentially similar soul essences. We talk about twin flames sharing a core soul frequency, an identical soul frequency, which is why they are the most magnetic. But soulmates still share very similar, though not identical, but similar frequencies on a soul level that pulls them to one another. This is what we refer to when we talk about attracting or connecting with our soul tribe. We feel connection, community with these people when we are our most authentic self, because when we radiate that authenticity, we attract back to us authentic people, our soulmates, both platonic and romantic, that match that. Now, of course, because soulmate connections are deeply spiritual, there can be feelings of remembering. We can share past lives with soulmates, just like we share many, many lifetimes with twin flames. There is still one very key difference. If you are feeling confused, especially confused as to whether someone is a very high-level romantic soulmate or a true bona fide twin flame, this is the test I have found to be most helpful, because there is one key difference between twin flames and high-level romantic soulmates. And this is that your soulmates may be like you, may be similar to you, but your twin flame mirrors you precisely, mirrors you exactly. Now, the ways this manifests in the physical may look very different, which is why this is so confusing at times. Because sometimes, because of this shared core soul frequency, twin flames physically look very much alike. But other times, they may not necessarily look alike. They may have many physical differences. What I mean when I say that your twin flame mirrors you precisely is that their energy mirrors you. And not only that, but their expansion mirrors your expansion. While soulmates are there to help you grow, just like any other form of connection, your soulmate will not expand you in the same way your twin flame will, simply because a soulmate is not your perfect mirror. They are often helpers, they are often guides, they are often healers, but soulmates are not perfect mirrors. This means that if you're wondering whether a high-level soulmate is just a soulmate or your twin flame connection, you can either reflect back on your life since you've known this person. Alternatively, you can project this into the future. You can even do a kind of exercise, an actual test with this method. And the method is, when you grow, shift, heal, expand in some way in your life, does this person mirror your expansion? So let's say that you decide to begin to take better care of your physical body. So for you, this might mean moving your body more in ways that you enjoy. It might mean drinking more water, whatever the case may be. Regardless of whether you talk about this change to your twin flame, if they are a true twin flame, energetically, they will match this raised frequency. This means that if you do something to take better care of your body, your twin flame will begin to expand their life to reflect that change. Now, I have to be careful when I'm wording this, because this doesn't necessarily mean if you choose to start drinking more water every day, your twin flame will do the exact same thing. Because people respond differently to energies, even if they are experiencing the same energies. So how your twin flame responds to this mirrored energetic shift they are feeling may be different. It may not look exactly the same. But the key here is they will expand along with you. Being a twin flame is like this rapid, accelerated path of constant soul growth and expansion, both individually and in connection to your twin flame. It's like constantly shedding your skin with one another over and over again. But regardless of what so-called skin you are wearing at the time, where you're at in that growth expansion process, you will always find that your twin flame mirrors you in some way. You never have to worry about outgrowing a twin flame relationship, because it is eternally expansive. And that mirroring aspect is what sets twin flame connections apart from karmic connections, false twin flames, and even high-level romantic soulmates. This is also why twin flame connections are actually the simplest in some sense to transform, to heal, because although these connections can become very challenging, very chaotic at times, all that is required to come together in physical reunion with your twin flame is to release the energy blocks within you that are preventing that natural magnetism from happening. Because as I have said throughout this video, twin flames are the most magnetic connection on the planet. But the key is they are only magnetic in their natural, authentic state. It's our ego. It's the ways in which our natural magnetism is blocked by negative societal programming that is essentially downloaded into us energetically and blocks that powerful flow of energy through us, that prevents the natural magnetism between twin flames from flowing, from bringing them together in the physical world. This is why I've created a 7-chakra twin flame clearing subliminal designed to uproot these unnatural energy blocks as they may be stored within all 7 chakras. This subliminal is designed to return you to your natural state of magnetism within your twin flame connection. Because anytime you shift the energy within yourself, you release those blocks within yourself, your twin flame will match that release, match that higher vibration, and as a result will be drawn effortlessly toward you in the physical world. This subliminal comes from my website, Sound and Soulful, where I've created over 100 subliminals for all areas of life. You can try it out completely free for 7 days when you create a free trial account on my website. The link to this twin flame 7-chakra clearing subliminal is in the pinned comment. You can click that link and explore more about the energetic benefits contained in this meditation. Thank you so much for joining me here in this podcast. I hope this episode brought you some clarifying information or guidance at this time. If it did, click the subscribe button and join our community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again in the next podcast.